Well, so I think, digital cameras are widely accepted now. There's still some film being shot, but the majority of production is digital, and it's been probably about 10 years since we've adopted digital cameras. The Alexa camera, by the way, is 7 years old now. Surprisingly, it doesn't seem like that long, but we've been able to update it and upgrade it and add features and capabilities and all sorts of things, and now the product family is much bigger. But digital, of course, allows you to set up and shoot in less light. I think it's still important that you have light and that you control it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about digital lighting, particularly LED lighting, now that the technology has advanced to the point that we have very high quality, digitally controlled LED lights. It's lower power, it's less heat. Those are good things for, for quick setup. You don't need generators, you can plug them into the wall, things like that. But it also, with color tunable lights like the Sky Panel that we introduced a couple years ago, which is now, selling like hotcakes, and everyone's using it. This is technology that has been used in live events and theater for years, but is now being embraced on film and TV sets, and it allows you to rig the lights, set them up, set the color, but then instead of climbing ladders to gel the lights like we traditionally did, you just tune a different color through a control panel. And that can be a wireless control, it can be an app, it can be set up through a DMX control panel, but it really leads to some new production efficiencies. I think I'd rather have Daryn talk about his own experience with it, but I think this is sort of another revolution in where digital technology is impacting the way we shoot our movies.
Daryn and Lori both actually had thoughts on LEDs when we were planning, so go ahead.
Oh, we'll have to go again first. She always does this to me. The interesting thing is that all these technologies are sort of coming together at the same time, which is exciting for the whole industry. As far as the LED lights, years, it's been probably maybe 5 years when I got actually burnt by an early LED light because it didn't reproduce
Literally burnt, or?
It burnt the look of the actress. Okay. It had this, her face was totally blue and really bright, and yet you couldn't see it. So then that led into this, of course, I'd bring up a thing and I get asked to co-chair a committee at the Academy, which was a solid-state lighting project. So then now this whole dialogue of exactly what is a solid-state light or LED light, and to have it reproduce what a tungsten light would be. So we brought in all this language, and luckily now all the manufacturers have jumped in. So today it's great because it made everybody aware of what these issues are, and we can take these lights and do things in places that we normally couldn't with the amount of time, and just introduce greater production value. I had a episode this year we did these 4 sort of standalone Grey's Anatomy episodes in the middle of our Scandal schedule. This was my 2-year experiment in television. I said, let's step away from features, let's do TV for 2 years. I think I'm going to go back to features now. But it was all in an airplane. The whole episode was going to be on a plane, which we've all done. We know what those situations are. What I was able to do is, instead of rigging this everything outside of the windows with all kinds of light to make different looks, runway, things like that, I just used these ARRI Sky panels, very small. I put 8 down one side, 8 down the other side, and I did every effect from lightning to the blue lights as you're taxiing, to red lights, to the glow, to even made one of them flash as if it's the navigation strobe in the back of a part of a wing. But I was able to do that. I had it programmed in 6 hours, so I had a pre-rig crew do it. If we were to try to introduce that kind of production value on in any other way in a short term, it would be impossible financially. And also, what was great is I was able to keep all that going with less crew, because I didn't need a person on each thing. I had a great dimmer board operator, and we programmed it. But that's where these sort of lights. Also, we didn't need a lot of power or air conditioning, because air conditioning takes power. So all these technologies all kind of that are feeding into this whole, sort of a great opportunity right now for, I think, the industry.
Lori.
I just want to take a moment to just say the men on this panel do so many things behind the scenes that we will never see. Besides just doing their job, they're like going to sets, seeing what we need, taking what we learned on sets, going to the technology companies, and really making the tools that we use as producers much more efficient and much more usable when the film comes out in the end. And it's something they do above and beyond their normal, what they get paid for. And I think it's really important that we just acknowledge these guys and say thank you for that.